Hello everybody, I'm Alex, this is Josh, we are the target audience. Hey listen, content is made for absolutely everybody, but we think it's specifically made for us, and hopefully for you as well. Today we're continuing our watch of Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 1, Episode 14, titled Defenders of Peace, and I think this is going to be another one of those political episodes where it's like the third party doesn't want to get involved, and it's going to be, you know, commentary on the world probably. Looks like we got Anakin in this one. Coming off our last arc with Count Dooku, what are you hoping to see in this one, Josh?
Well, I feel like a couple of arcs ago, the Nute Gunray arc was my favorite arc thus far of the show, and then the last one we watched, not to say it was bad, it just probably was my least favorite thus far. There wasn't, a lot that I really enjoyed about it. So I'm looking to just get back to hopefully a little bit of a better arc. I can't quite put my finger on why the last arc didn't really, interest me as much, so hopefully I bounce back here because we're going to be wrapping up with the season shortly. Only about 10 episodes left, a little less than 10 episodes left, so I'm just hoping overall to get back to what made that, the arcs like the Nute Gunray arc so good, where you have the action in it, but you also have kind of the deeper moments as well.
Yeah, I gotta disagree with you. I like the last arc purely because, like, three of the most popular characters in Star Wars prequels, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Count Dooku, all got their ass kicked by a pirate who just got introduced in this arc. And I love this pirate, Hondo. We're going to see him a lot more, I hope. I mean, I know we will, but I hope we see him, sooner rather than later. But that's all I got to say on that. I have no idea what happens in this episode or arc. I don't even know how long it lasts. I have no memory of it, so it's like we're both watching it for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think maybe that's one thing that I've just enjoyed a little bit differently about the show than maybe yourself, who I know you love the prequels a little bit more than me. I've really enjoyed the episodes with those characters that I'm seeing at the forefront for the first time in this series, that aren't a big part of the movies. Characters like Kit Fisto and Luminara and all those characters. So that's something I enjoyed a little bit more in the previous arc, but I'm totally open, so we'll see. Another thing I wanted to briefly talk about, we have been getting a lot of comments about watching the series in chronological order. I just wanted to say the reason we're not doing that is just because I feel like we want to come at this. I've never seen the series. Alex has, but in this case, I have not. And we just kind of want to come at this as, the target audience, someone that would watch this series for the first time. Chances are they're not going to go on Disney Plus, see Clone Wars, and instantly think to themselves, I wonder what order I should watch this in. Like, they're just going to watch the show. So if that's something you enjoy rewatching this series, nothing against that, but we're going to watch this series, and honestly, probably most, or if not all things we watch on this channel, in release order. I feel like that's just the default order, and unless there's a very good reason to change that, I think we're going to go by release order. Do you think similarly?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. You watch it the way it was intended to be watched, the way it came out. I had a friend who wanted to get into Star Wars, and he started watching. I'm like, okay, I'm starting episode 1. I'm like, what do you mean you're starting episode 1? I'm like, no. He's like, start with episode 4. Yeah, it's like you watch it the way it was released, as if it was coming out today. You watch in the release order. That's it. Quote us. Put that on the marquee of the channel. Watch it in release order.
Anakin Skywalker has been seriously injured.
Oh, that's right. We had a cliffhanger. I totally forgot. We ended on a cliffhanger. So stupid.
Help me up.
At least he's awake.
Don't struggle. I'm sorry, but you're still too injured to move.
Oh, God. This fucking guy.
But we cannot help them without being drawn into their war.
They already took over your planet, dude.
I call it no courage.
Sometimes it takes courage to stick to one's beliefs, young Padawan. As any Jedi well knows.
More talking shit to Ahsoka. She can't say anything right.
Nope. It's like, shut up, kid.
I'm fine, just go!
Think you're in pain now. Just wait till you burn alive on Mustafar. Throw your lightsaber. Ooh, nice. A lot of the times they take over these planets for resources, for bases, but there's nothing here.
We test a new weapon of my own design.
A classic Star Wars plot. Testing a new weapon.
I guess he answered my question on why they came here. Thank you, show.
Nice.
was that?
I love like the classic video game logic. If you're not in the spotlight, they can't see you.
Yeah.
Even though it's clearly well lit.
Our philosophy has helped us to survive for generations, and we will not change our morals now or ever.
I don't know how you're about to be fucking killed.
Yeah. A nice philosophical, debate.
Yeah, I'm sure it worked in in the scenario where nothing attacks you. I'm sure it did you very well. I'm sure that.
But they've got a new weapon. It'll burn this place to a crisp. Is this what all of you really want?
If it is our destiny to be destroyed in your war, so be it.
Damn. That one's like, I don't know about that.
You really care about your people there, Wag2, or whatever the fuck your name is.
There's going to be a mutiny. Or, what do they call it? A coup. I think a mutiny's only on a ship.
This battle is inevitable. You can stand by your beliefs, but let us stand by ours.
He's like, no. There we go.
Ooh, that was crisp. Ooh, goddamn. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Maybe a little character development with a change of heart. Ah, that's nice. For a species that's never fought ever, they sure know what they're doing.
Just proof that droids will always be the worst fighters.
Perhaps we do owe you thanks, but I still wonder, at what cost?
You'd be dead if they... Whatever. I'm done arguing with this guy that can't argue with me.
Straight to the point.
Yes. Mm-hmm. No bullshit, 3 sentences. Ooh, snow!
Yeah, I do gotta say, I love the snow scenes in the Star Wars movies. Empire Strikes Back, Force Awakens, some of my favorite parts.
And what's cool here is that the clone troopers, like, even with their signature painting, they have a snow version of it, which is hilarious. Oh, Kenobi's back. Like, look at Rex in the background there.
I thought this planet was uninhabited, and therefore it's not aligned.
I'm the one who asked the Senate to protect this planet. This wasteland belongs to us.
Can someone not be a douchebag?
Ordered a droid base on the other side of the ice ridge.
What I like is that that clone winter armor looks exactly like the Stormtrooper winter armor from Empire Strikes Back. A little foreshadowing, maybe? Let me guess. There's gonna be some security recording of them recording. We're being attacked. We don't know. Then it cuts out. Then it cuts out.
X85 to command. There are too many of
I fucking knew it.
What was that?
Whatever. I am willing to fight and die for my people. It's time to ask yourself if you are brave enough to do the same.
It's the opposite of the dispute from the last episode, where he didn't want to go to war.
Now it's a guy who just wants nothing but war. Ooh. Look at that thing. Fun fact, George Lucas played a Pantoran in episode 3 for like 2 seconds. He was just walking in the background.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And later on, there's an arc where it's George Lucas's character from that movie has like a whole 3-episode arc.
In this series?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And this species was like one of the background characters in A New Hope, like in Mos Eisley Cantina.
Well, say something.
Just shut up.
Our explorers have spent much time here over the long history of Pantora. No one lives here. These creatures are little more than animals. You can't lie to an animal.
You never met him.
Trusted.
Yeah, literally just heard about him just now.
As promised.
I would love if one of the creatures just killed the the dick guy just like spears him, just like, oh, I guess he was right. Now he's dead.
Would you like me to represent Pantora in this matter?
Not on your life, Senator.
Oh my God.
There will be no diplomacy this time. Listen here, you.
This might be the biggest dick thus far.
Great Tai Sen, son of suns, asks again that you leave, or it will mean war.
Then war it is.
Great. More pointless clone deaths because of this fucking asshole.
From these animals?
Oh!
Savages!
He's still just fucking I'm sorry, that's... okay. I can stop laughing now.
I order you to destroy the Tals.
I'm afraid I cannot do that, Chairman. I am to negotiate peace.
No. Impossible. Peace. Never. I died for our people.
Fucking clown. Imagine dying, your last thought being, everyone knows you're a crazy asshole, no one likes you. and still have the balls to go, no, peace.
Well done, Senator. Yes.
I think.
Most impressive.
Thank
Hey,
you, Mr.
Vader
Jedi.
said that. Hey. I hope they left his body there.
A planet under siege.
Again?
Succubus forces mercilessly batter the...
Woo! Cody!
Here, all troops will...
Oh no. As an empath, I'm sensing something's wrong. They got that guy shooting now? Those droids are literally just strategy droids. They don't do anything except strategize, so why do they have him with a fucking gun? They're short-handed? Oh, he just stole his head?
Maybe this tactical droid will tell us how they knew our plan.
Yeah, kind of, you know. It just so happens that he was out there fighting. Like, I'm sorry, but that wouldn't happen. It just doesn't make sense. There you go.
Someone has been listening to everything we said.
Hey, stop!
Just someone running.
We've got a big problem. Yeah. The only people in here are brothers.
Oh, I like this.
Did any of you see someone frantically run in here a second ago?
So this is the belly of the beast.
Oh no!
Oh!
She's back!
Ventress. And here I thought this mission would be unpleasant.
I don't know. I was doing the things I always do after a mission. Things like what? I'm sorry, sir. I'm just a little nervous. Jester is telling the truth. Cleans his weapon after every mission. First thing, every time. Good man. You were cleaning your weapon too? No, I was hungry. Got banged up pretty good by one of those clankers. Medroid was fixing me up. Doc's got all the records there, if you want to check. You know something, kid. You should speak up. Chopper came in a lot later, after everyone else.
Here we go. Woo!
I was hiding at the south exit. I didn't want anyone to see me string these together. I always knew there was something deficient about you.
Damn.
Like, I knew there was something wrong with you. You took an enemy's robot fingers. How dare you? Like, we have two tense scenes in two different ways happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Chopper, we're all brothers. You don't have to say anything till the Jedi come back and talk to you. Maybe you should talk, sir. Everyone else turn right, toward the barracks and the mess. You turn left. Sergeant, what did you mean till the Jedi come back? How did you know the Jedi were gone? I really wish you hadn't noticed that, sir.
Oh! I think this is the first example in this series so far of a clone, turning bad.
Mm-hmm. I think so, yeah.
Give up, Ventress.
I'm all yours, Obi-Wan.
Oh, she definitely wants to bang him.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say. For the kids.
For the kids.
You know what's funny? Traitor, we knew you'd never take a chance on the exits while they were blocked. All of you just blindly following orders! For what? Yes, she offered me money. But she offered me something more important. Something you wouldn't understand.
Freedom! I love that clip.
How could you do this to your brothers?
Only a Jedi would ask that. It's the Jedi who keep my brothers enslaved. I love my brothers. You're too blind to see it. If you loved your brothers, you wouldn't have put them at risk. Take him to lock up.
The fight goes on, gentlemen.
Yeah, so we'll talk about each one, obviously, but just I want to say overall, I continue to be just very impressed with the animation and the attention to detail to the just little things. Like in the first episode we watched when they had like the big missile, like before putting it into the thing, they like clinked the edge of it and it was like made a clinking noise. Or like in the second episode when they're wearing like the jackets with the fur on them, you can see like the fur on the hoods like blowing in the wind. I mean, I know it's just like a little detail, don't want to, get caught up on it so much, but it's just like very impressive. Like for a show like this to, the animation team just really does a great job. So I continue to be really impressed by that.
Yeah, 3 different set pieces with all 3 different vibes and feels to it. You have like that jungle vibe and then the snowstorm, and then like this weird, like how do you even like?
It's like a dystopian city, yeah.
Yeah, this like it's like Coruscant, like the main planet from the prequels, but it's not. It's like different. And I said earlier that's the same planet from the first Clone Wars movie and only Clone Wars movie, where Ahsoka's first introduced. But yeah, and so we finished up that first arc, and we had 2 single arcs finished up in one episode, which I'm a fan of.
Yeah. So for the first one, it finished up the end of whatever arc that was that we were in. I'll try to look up the name of it real quick, but finished up that arc, and the whole point of it being that this species did not want to enter into combat, even if they were going to be destroyed. The leader did not want to, because that's just not their way. They're very pure pacifists, and his people ended up having to go against that. I think that was an interesting discussion. We kind of made fun of it as you were watching it, as far as like, obviously if you're about to be destroyed, like you do have to do something, but I think there are some societies or some people throughout time that probably would rather be destroyed than actually get involved into a conflict of war.
Yeah, and the end of that episode really like nailed that on the head. It's like, oh yeah, we survived, we won, but at what cost? And it looks up and all the Republic ships are coming down. Because it's all a point of view type. Obviously the Republic is made to look like, the best thing ever. But I'm sure to others it's like, I'm not sure I want this. It's like we had a pretty good thing going on. Now that planet's going to be used as a Republic base maybe. I mean, who knows? But it's not what people wanted. But they lived. But
yeah, and I think they said
really quick, the famous end. But at what cost?
And I think the text at the beginning of that, the quote was that eventually you have to pick a side, right? So that was kind of the whole dilemma. They didn't want to pick a side. I think all 3 of the quotes for these episodes actually like. Obviously, they all fit the episode they're for, but these 3 really stuck out and were kind of pretty on the nose for all of them. But that one, Jedi Crash, I thought it was interesting. There wasn't a ton of action. The action that there was, was fine. It was mostly just them destroying droids the whole time. But I think overall the message of that one was very interesting, and it was nice to finish up that arc.
So we went from a species not wanting war, and that's a nice segue to our next episode, which is a certain species or type guy who wants nothing but war. And on the snow planet of these Pantoran, the blue people. And I think this episode is a nice like message / reminder. It kind of reminded me of like the Native Americans when European settlers came over. It's like, oh, this is our planet. I didn't know these people were here, and guy wants to wipe them out. But like the lower senator wants like, no, let's negotiate peace, and then all goes to shit. People died. They don't have to, but it's a good episode on just because someone's different, not as advanced, or can't understand them, you can come together and there's always a peaceful option.
Yeah, and I feel like with this one, it's funny how, like, in these shows, like this one, for example, is supposed to be for kids or whatever, but, you know, in a lot of shows, movies, media, they portray this very simple story of, you know, people wanting to go to war despite it clearly not being the best option, but because, you know, either that's just how they are or there's alternative means to it, and you'd think it would just be, like, this fictional trope, but it's, like, actually very real, you know? And you could probably point to a lot of real world situations where that is someone like this guy who was such a big asshole probably does exist and has a position of power, you know, in a lot of places around the world throughout history. So I like that part of it. It was also nice to have like an actual like asshole villain that actually dies in that episode, because so far they've all escaped, you know, somehow or been arrested. So that was fun to see. And I really loved those creatures too, and the snow planet. I really loved the environment of that. Nice one-off episode, I think.
A lot of Star Wars, you know, pulls, like, it's all based on real life events or real life things. And like the Empire is in the OG trilogy, it's like that's basically like, you know, Nazi Germany pretty much. And in terms of details and designs, like, I love the snow outfits for all the clones, and like they took the time to like paint all their markings on it just for like this one-off episode, just so you can recognize them, because without it you have no idea who you're talking to. And speaking of clones and not know who you're talking to, I think this is another nice segue into the next one-off arc, which I really enjoyed. On the planet of Christophsis, our usual friends of Anakin, Obi-Wan, Rex, and Cody have a rat in the house. And I love a good mystery episode. And I remember watching it for the first time and literally having no idea who it could be. It was a nice twist at the end. And we brought back Asajj Ventress, even for a one-off. Always nice to see her. What did you think of this one?
I really enjoyed it. So I looked up the arcs here, and it does look like, so first of all, the Defenders of Peace one at the beginning was along with the last episode we watched last time, Jedi Crash. That's called the Lurmen arc, so that was the last half of that. I assume that's what those species are called, right? Lurmens?
Lurmen, yeah.
And this one, it says it is part of an arc, the Christophsis arc, so you were correct, because it says part of the arc was that Clone Wars movie. And then also there's an episode in Season 2 that it looks like is part of this arc as well, so it must take place on Christophsis. So I think the plot of this is probably a standalone, but we will see this again. I think the plot was really fun. We didn't really, at least maybe it seemed like watching it, we didn't like react as much to this one. I think it was because it was so driven by just dialogue and the mystery of finding who the person was, the spy was, and we might not have been like having out loud reactions because we were so interested into that story of finding out who it was. At least I was. I had no clue. I thought the whole time that it was going to be one of those two clones that we were with the whole episode. Obviously, I don't know their futures or anything, so I thought it would definitely be one of them, and then when it ends up being this lower level, you know, leader of this small group, I forget what they called, if they called that group anything, but yeah, I really liked how that turned out. But we did have the action as well with the return of Ventress. So she's probably definitely my favorite villain that's been introduced in the series that I didn't know of before, and one of my favorite characters overall as well, so always nice to see her appear.
Yeah, she's great. And I like how the intro of this episode, I even said it, it's like, oh great, we're doing another Siege episode. Like, oh, another planet takeover. And it takes the twist. Like, no, it's not about that. It's about, you know, we have a rat in the house. A lot of those clones are like probably one-off clones. We'll never see them again. But they took the time to name them, gave them specific facial hair. Maybe this guy's got a scar right here.
Got the soul patch guy.
Yeah, like one guy's named Sketch, and it's like, oh, is it him? He seems pretty sketchy. And then there's Chopper, and then there's one guy who's just super nervous and cleans his gun, like just for one episode. Just I like it, you know. And the same guy voicing all these people, and I've said before, he gives them like one adjective about them, and somehow bases his voice on that one adjective and makes an entire character. And then we get into, I think you were talking about this, like clones, like, hey, maybe, you know, things aren't right here, because they are basically like enslaved and forced to do this because they have no other option. If they leave, they're sent to prison. And Slick is like the first one to break through. It's like, I'm tired of seeing my brothers die for what? For this endless war. And I'm like, the entire time, I'm like, yeah, it's got a point. It's got a point.
Yeah, you can sympathize with them even though he's not going about it the right way. I was actually going to ask you because I wasn't really sure, like, if there was a clone that was just like, hey, yeah, I don't really want to do this. Like, what would happen? So, I mean, so they would just put him in prison?
Yeah, they would imprison him, yeah.
Okay, well, damn, all right. Not many options then. You can't...
Yeah, court-martial them, whatever. A lot of them like what they do, love their jobs, but it's like, are they also programmed that way? You know, and Attack of the Clones has mentioned that they're more designed not to disobey orders and all that. But also in this show, you know, they say they encourage the Jedi encourage the clones with creative thinking, which obviously we see they all have their own personalities and designs in their armor instead of, you know, unless they're new, like the plain white, like the new guys, or in the Empire, in that every stormtrooper has the same get up. So I like seeing the individual. Yeah, no name, like TK or CT, whatever, with a number. But in this, they have all names, and as they develop their personalities, maybe some of those personalities aren't good. So hopefully we see more of that. And
even if they're not programmed, you know, even if their DNA specifically, whatever they do there is programmed, they're still like brainwashed and given propaganda basically from their, you know, creation as far as like, this is what you do, you know, this is your purpose. So I mean, even if you allow them to have a personality and have a name and be creative, you know, you still are in a way just as bad as the Empire, right, with the stormtroopers. So it's a big dichotomy there that I appreciate that they dive into in a fucking 20-minute animated show, right? Like they could have just had the spy. For
children.
Yeah, they could have had the spy just been like that Chad from the other episode and been like, oh, money, you know, but no, like he has an actual reason and probably will never see him again. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. So even though we weren't, you know, the action wasn't necessarily the best, or there wasn't like huge highlights from that standpoint, I really loved the story of all 3 of these episodes. I think that's what stands out to me. All right, well, that'll be all we will be watching today. Only 6 episodes left of this season, so we'll be watching we'll have 2 more parts basically to finish off season 1. I'm very excited for that. So make sure to subscribe to the Target Audience. We also do movie trailer reactions, watch movies and react and review them. So subscribe so you don't miss any of those videos.
And I think that'll do it for us. I'm Alex. This is Josh. We are the Target Audience. Content is made for absolutely everybody, but we think it's specifically made for us and hopefully for you too. Thanks for coming along on this ride, and we'll see you in the next one.